High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Yes, it does. Hello again and welcome to Overtime. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm David Greenberg. This is our weekly recap of high school basketball in the Rockford area. Your spot for highlights, news, and interviews.
Tonight, South Beloit coach Matt Stuckey will join us to talk about his Sobos. They're having a tremendous season. And we'll meet an Auburn Knight who has battled back from not one but two major knee injuries.
Well, speaking of the Auburn Knights, we opened with our highlights with them tonight. They entered the night 9-0 in Nick 10 play. They did have a couple of close calls along the way. One was a 4-point win they pulled out at Boylan. The other, a 6-point win at Hononegah in their conference opener December 1st.
And tonight was their second matchup against Hononegah. Now, COVID protocols played a factor in this one. Assistant coach Joe Danforth filled in as the acting head coach. Brian Ott was not able to attend the game, and neither was sophomore center Mike Jones. Hononegah is still without one of its key players, Brandon Beck, with an ankle injury. Well, the Knights did have Rob Cheney, and he was huge. He knocks down three here. Adrian Agee next, also big. He'll pull up and sink the jumper. And then Cheney takes it right to the rim. He put in 27 points. Braden Savitsky-Linden will stop this Agee drive with a block shot. But back comes Cheney, draws the contact, and still gets the hoop. Dominic Camisso going to show his mid-range shooting touch for the Indians. Now watch this next play. Owen Hart misses, but Camisso is there to slam it home. He scored 17 points. Agee, though, going to nail a jumper at the other end. He scored 19 points. Coach Danforth was pumped. Auburn remains undefeated in the conference by defeating Hononegah 77-69. The Knights do it without their head coach and without Big Mike Jones. What was your attitude coming into this knowing you weren't going to have your head coach and Big Mike?
Our attitude was to attack. We already knew we could come out with the dub. We just had to play hard.
Well, for myself, I feel like I had to step up as a leader, and I told everybody else they got to step up with me.
You scored a lot of points tonight. What were you looking for out there offensively?
I was just looking for what the defense was giving me. They was giving me the lane early, so I would drive. I would either make a dish or go up and get the finish through contact. And later in the game, they would sag off, so I would just shoot the three.
What was your message just now to the guys in the post-game locker room there about the way they handled tonight without some key players and their head coach?
Oh, they played tough. And the thing was to match, my intensity. I'm intense anyway. They just had to match my intensity. I'm almost like what Greg Marsh used to say, play angry. And I'm like, play violent, play tough, play mean, and get after it. And those guys did it.
Love the fist pump there. Guilford began the night in second place in the conference. The Vikings hosted Belvedere North. Brendan Gray was on fire for the Vikings. He hits a three. He comes right back with another one. I'd let that kid keep shooting it the way he was going. Ethan Andre continues to play big for the Blue Thunder. He'll pull up and knock down the points. But back comes Gray again. From the corner one more time. Yes, sir. Now, Malachi Johnson was masked up, not with a COVID mask, but a mask to protect his fractured nose. Didn't seem to bother him on this next play. A very deep three ball. Boom, there it is. Guilford holds serve at home, defeating the Blue Thunder 67-49.
Let's go to Jefferson now with the Jayhawks. We're hoping to upset East. First possession for the E-Rabs, Ryan Larson finding Latrell Kiles and draining the three. Jayhawks first possession now trying to answer. Nigel Posley looks to cut, stops, and sinks it from the paint. Posley now again in transition, looks to get another one to go. This one, though, going to miss. Randy Johnson tries to get it. That one misses. And this time it goes down for Jefferson. East now has to have an answer. This time, Larson gets it to Kiles, and he drains it from behind the arch. Now Jameer Jefferson looks to make Jefferson pay as he finds Antonio Lewis and drills it from behind the line. East had it going early. They cruised to a 74-25 win over the Jayhawks. The other Nick 10 game tonight at Belvedere playing at Harlem. Start with a scrum for the ball. Bucks come out on top. Find David Guerrero, pulls up, and gets a friendly roll. Go to Harlem's side of the court now. They swing it into the corner. It's Alex Wilson dropping the three. Bucks ball now. It's Atio Gotson. Nice bounce pass to Guerrero. Cuts in, spins, shoots, and puts it home. What a finish there. Another scrum for the ball. Belvedere winning it again. Atio Gotson inside, and he puts it in, but it was the Huskies on top tonight, 64-26. Freeport at Boylan game tonight was postponed. It's scheduled to be made up on Tuesday, February 8th. So here are the updated Nick 10 standings for the boys. Auburn still a perfect 10-0. Guilford has second place nailed down at 9-2. East and Boylan tied for third at 7-2. And Hononegah is fifth at 5-5. We'll keep those hands off that remote because we got lots more to get to. Girls highlights from Hononegah and boys Big Northern action.
But up next, we're going to be joined by South Beloit head coach Matt Stuckey to discuss one of the best Sobos teams in many years. You're watching Overtime. The South Beloit Sobos have had some great basketball teams, but you have to go back several years to find them. Well, this year's team has shaken off the dust and put the shine back on the Sobos program. The Sobos are currently 17-2 and ranked 6th in the state in Class 1A. Earlier, head coach Matt Stuckey joined me to discuss his talented team. First of all, Matt, congratulations on the championship at your own MLK tournament this past Monday. You beat a pretty good Stillman Valley team there in the championship game. A little bit of a sluggish first half, but you guys really turned it on in the second half. Tell me a little bit about that game and just how the tournament as a whole went for you guys hosting that again this year.
Yeah, the tournament went really well for us, especially with COVID this year and all the uncertainties. To pretty much go off without a hitch. We had a couple teams drop late. We were able to find replacements for them, so that was really good. As far as championship game, Stillman was really tough. They played really hard. They got some guards who can give you some troubles. Like I said, sluggish start to begin for both teams. And, the excitement and energy, kind of a few missed shots at the beginning for both teams, but once it got going, we were training punch for punch. It seemed like guys were making shots left and right. So it was really good a test for us, and we made stops on the stretch when we had to.
You guys are having a terrific season. You only had 2 losses so far. One was by just 2 points to a really good East Dubuque team. Another one to an undefeated Scales Mountain team that's having a terrific year too. I'm curious though, obviously it's great when you get to play teams of that caliber. What did you guys take away from those 2 games that are going to help you going forward?
I think the biggest thing we took from those is we kind of saw like some areas we need to work on, especially with some of the better teams in the area and in the state really. The other thing is we didn't shoot the ball really well either game, and we found ourselves right there in both contests. So it kind of gives us confidence, like, yeah, I know we lost, but we also didn't play a great game either. So it shows like even on our bad nights, we're still pretty competitive with some of the best teams. So, clean up a few things and have a better shooting night, and we're right there with some of the best teams in the state.
I want to talk about a couple of your guys. One is Brad Nepper, who's a heck of a football player, and he's certainly built like a football player. But what impresses me is when he gets on the basketball court, he doesn't look like a football player. He's got pretty good footwork and pretty good post moves for a guy of his size.
Yeah, Brad's come along quite a bit the last few years. The thing he's always had is he's had great hands. He catches the ball really well, and he's got great footwork too in the post. So 2 things are really hard to teach, especially big guys. And then the biggest thing for Brad, he works really hard and he competes, and that's a big thing at this level. He's improved a lot just because of his willingness to be coachable and get after it and do little things that teams need to win. So at times he's really passive to find what defenses want to do, and he just finding his role to just send screens and rebounding. And if teams want to play one-on-one posts, he's willing to play one-on-one and play there too. He's been really great for us, and his leadership this year as a senior too, being a 3-year varsity guy has been really big for us.
I heard a lot coming into this season about your freshman, Ross Robertson, and he's been everything I'd heard and then some. I'm so impressed for a freshman, his knowledge of the game. He really has a good feel for how to play the game. Plus, he's a great knack for blocking shots without getting into foul trouble. And at 6'7", he even brings the ball up the floor a lot for you guys, handles it pretty nicely. Is there anything this young man can't do right now?
As far as a freshman, no, he does everything you'd want to do. And the biggest thing with Ross, especially for a freshman, sometimes with that big jump from junior high to the varsity level, there's some growing pains that go with it. And so you see like mentally, emotionally, some ups and downs, guys with frustrations, have good games, bad games. Ross is pretty even keel. Like he has the same mentality every game. He doesn't get too down on himself. He's kind of look for next play, and he'll do the little things to help guys win. But yeah, he can handle the ball. He can shoot it. He's got good post moves. He's a good defender by the basket. So he has a little bit of everything for us, which is a unique thing to have out of a freshman. Kind of like do a little bit for you for whatever you guys need.
The last regional championship by a Sobo team was in 2009. The last sectional championship was way back in 1975. I'm sure your guys are aware of that a little bit. And how hungry are they to kind of end those two droughts and get some championships here?
Yeah, I mean, they're aware of it. We have the banners in the gym they see every day for the last ones. And going into the season, every year we talk about the goals, and the goal is always to win a regional, be there at the end. This group, they've done a really good job of not looking too far ahead. We've kind of taken every game and each tournament on its own. And so we've had 3 tournaments. We've won 3 trophies for all 3. And so the kind of just that getting that ball rolling of like next tournament, we'll have our conference tournament going on here next month, and then obviously the state tournament too. So they've done a really nice job, but it's definitely there in mind, and we have that goal set for us. So we keep taking one day at a time, getting ready to be the team we need to be a month from now, not peaking here in January, but peaking in February and March.
Yep, the Sobos have good size, some outside shooting, good ball handling point guard, a lot of elements that you want in a basketball team.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they just have to learn how to win those big games. Winning their MLK tournament last Monday, a good step in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, our feature story on Auburn's Rob Chaney is coming up shortly.
But next, we get back into the highlights. The Auburn and Hononegah girls going at it, plus big Northern games from Rockford Christian and Stillman Valley.
The Nick 10 boys basketball race, we saw that earlier, is tight at the top. The girls race is a similar story.
Yeah, Hononegah started tonight in first place at 9-0. The Boylan Lady Titans right behind at 9-1, and Guilford was 9-2. Auburn was in fourth at 6-3. Tonight, Hononegah trying to boost its record to 10-0. The Indians were at home hosting Auburn. The Lady Knights who struck first, the 3-0 good, but Brooklyn Gray is there for the putback. But Hononegah, they're going to answer. Bree Carter left open on the wing. She knocks down the 3. And it's the sniper, Haley Warren. She was on fire tonight. This is the first of her 3-pointers. And she gets it on the wing. Looks like she's going to shoot, but drives and lays it in. Not going to pass this one up, though. She led Hononegah with 19 points tonight. The second quarter, Tayana Hansard knocks down the corner 3. Then it's Brooklyn Gray breaking the press, driving, Euro step, and lays it in. What a move. In the second half now, Carla LeMay drives and kicks to Allison Neufeld. The 3-ball is good, and it's Warren. Same concept, same result. Neufeld had 12 tonight. But Brooklyn Gray answers. She pulls up and banks this one in. The bank is open. She led all scores with 22, but it was Hononegah improving to 11-0 with the 51-39 win.
And that's a team that will fight you for 32 minutes. And anytime, you can grind out 32 minutes of basketball and have to be on your toes and strong and mentally engaged, that's a great win.
It felt good. I mean, that's a nice one. Last week I was kind of off, so, you just can't really think about it. Got to go out and play. And when, when the game's really intense, it kind of just makes it easier not to really think about it, just play. And I think that always helps me when I don't really think, I just play. So, yeah, it was good.
Also in girls Nick 10 action tonight, the Bucks of Belvedere pick up a big win over Harlem 39-31. Harlem played with only 3 varsity players due to having to quarantine. Lady Titans with another impressive win beat Freeport 73-35. Good night for the folks in Belvedere as North beat Guilford 51-41.
Back to boys action in the Big Northern. Genoa Kingston is having a great season. The Cogs took a 16-3 record into Rockford Christian. The RC student section had a Hawaiian theme going, and why not? Good night for that on a chilly winter January night, huh? Josh Bunting with the basketball. Drives, dishes for the Cogs to Declan Creedon for the basket. Josh Oates, he's a big-time scorer. Drives, puts 2 more on the board for the Cogs. Colin Nessler next, going to use his strong body and football mentality to bang inside for another basket. The Royal Lions started slow but got it going. Cade McGall with a slick drive and score. Then Ike Johnson gets his hand in there for the putback. Again, they'll go to Johnson. He gets the hoop and one with the bounce. This one went down to the wire. The Royal Lions eked out a 59-56 win.
Another big Northern game played out in Stillman Valley. The Cardinals hosted Rockford Lutheran. Start here with the Crusaders. It's Walt Hill Jr. Going to find a wide open Blake Brogy in the corner for 3. And it's Hill up the court again. bumps into a defending Cardinal, finds Brogy again. He's going to take a dribble, a little hesitation, and puts it in. What a shot. A little later, Stillman inbounds. Logan McKee finding David Wilhite. Catch and shoot from downtown. Vontez Dent led Lutheran with 20 points as the Crusaders get the win, 74-43. Also in the Big Northern Conference, Byron picked up a lopsided win over Oregon, 60-20. Let's take another break.
When we come back, we'll meet an Auburn Knight whose desire to play basketball pushed him through 2 major knee surgeries. It takes hard work and determination to become a great athlete. That goes double or probably triple for an athlete to overcome 2 major knee injuries. That's what Auburn senior Rob Chaney has done. We feature Chaney in our Overtime Spotlight segment. You'd never know it from the way Chaney throws his body around on the court, diving for loose balls or going hard to the basket. But he's had 2 torn ACLs in his left knee. The first one happened in the summer before his sophomore season. The second one happened his junior year, just 2 games into the season. Through it all, he never flinched, not even after the second tear.
He didn't act devastated after the second injury. I know he was. That was a pretty bitter pill to swallow, I know that. But he was resolved to get right back to work.
Second time, I just knew that I would have to go harder during rehab. I wasn't down about it. My brother tore his ACL too the game before that, so I was like, I can do rehab with him, try to push him through it.
He took the bull by the horns as far as just the work that was going to be put in all over again and leading his brother along the way.
So rehab is 4 days a week. I'm in there for about an hour and a half, stretching, ice at the end, but I'm on the bike for 10 minutes, and then I'm doing strength work for the rest of the time. I see my progress every week, so that's what pushed me.
Chaney is one of 4 Auburn Knights who are averaging around 10 or 11 points per game. And like most Auburn players, he's great at the up-tempo game. Were there ever any doubts in your mind about whether you could come back and play at the level that you want to play at?
No, because I knew all the work that I put in.
We don't limit his minutes at all. I do have to tell myself, discipline myself to take him out towards the end of quarters and stuff like that, first quarter, third quarter, to try to get him a blow and get some time off of it. He certainly is permitted to take himself out of drills when he feels like it's needed. That's happened really rarely.
Chaney's value to the Knights goes beyond his athletic ability, his scoring, and his defense. He's also the team captain. He takes that leadership role seriously.
You know, every team needs a leader to carry them when we're down, when we're out, when we need that leadership. I think I'm the leader of this team. I've been here for 4 years, around Coach Ott for 4 years, so that's what he expects of me, to be a leader of this team.
Pretty much leads by example, hard work. But he's an easy guy to follow in that respect. Rob is a really good student, and he's a gentleman in his class to all of his teachers, as you might expect, extremely well raised.
Yeah, it's been a rocky few years for Chaney, but with him playing well and the Knights playing well, his Auburn career could have a storybook ending.
So I want to win conference for sure, and I want to go far in the playoffs.
Rob is just one of those kids that you root for. He's done everything the right way here ever since he's been here. So I'm really happy for him.
And so are we. Chaney is hoping to play ball in college and perhaps prep school first.
Yeah, I've never had a torn ACL personally or gone through rehab like that, but to do it twice at such a young age, got to respect him after that, and dropped 27 tonight. Not a bad night.
He was fantastic tonight.
Not a bad night
And he earlier this week got a scholarship, an academic scholarship to go with that athletic ability. So
that's incredible.
He's the full package.
Shows his character as well. Well, let's take one final timeout.
As we do, here's another overtime flashback. It was February 4th, 2012. Byron's gym was packed for a showdown of the top 2 teams in the Big Northern West. The Tigers were 21-0. The Lutheran Crusaders were 21-2. The Crusaders were led by 6'5" senior Tavius Montgomery and sharpshooter Thomas Kopelman. The Tigers were led by Colin Russell, Logan Kroll, and Hunter Hill. It was a tight game from start to finish. Lutheran did manage to wiggle out to a 7-point lead in the third quarter. But the Tigers clawed back, and they drew within striking distance on a Russell three-pointer with 12 seconds to play. It came down to the final 6 seconds. With Lutheran up by 1, Byron inbounded the ball to Hill. The senior point guard quickly drove down the left side of the lane and lofted a shot that bounced off the iron and through right at the final buzzer. Hill was mobbed by his teammates and the fans. The Tigers escaped with a 39-38 win.
that kept them unbeaten and paved the way for their Big Northern West championship.
We wrap up this episode of Overtime with our play of the week.
It's the best play caught on our cameras to Auburn, and a bright spot for Hononegah tonight. Dominic Camiso passes to Owen Hart. Hard shot not going to go, but Camiso slams home the rebound. Got to be on pace for a school record for most dunks in a single season. Another look at this heady play there by Camiso. Usually it's Mike Jones, but he was not on the floor tonight, so Camiso showing us how it's done.
Well, a reminder, you can catch Overtime right here every Friday night through the end of the season, live at 11 p.m. on Fox 39. We, of course, also rebroadcast each show Sunday morning at 9 on Fox 39.
And remember, for highlights and scores anytime, go to our website, mystateline.com. Another show in the books, a lot of basketball, a lot of stuff.
It was fun, and I enjoyed the Auburn-Hononegah game. I never care who wins these games, obviously, because I look at every school as being my school in the area, because we're there at all these practices and games.
Covering, yep.
Yeah, and so I'm rooting for all our schools to do well. But it was kind of interesting to see Auburn come through the COVID thing without their coach, without their big man, to win the game like they did. That was interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to get a call from Fred, congratulating him on the win as
Fred's
acting
going to talk
coach.
with his dad, Joe, and about that one. That was pretty cool.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. All right, well, that's it for this episode of Overtime. That's our show. Thanks for joining us.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.